Hey everyone, I'm Tiffany, my so-called fabulous, and welcome to the show. I'm going to read this to you because sometimes I get a little emotional, but I want to read this and share what the show is about today, my solo episode. So I'm back today sharing more about something deeply personal, my journey with breast implant illness. If you've followed along with me, you've listened and watched, you know what I've struggled with for quite a while. This is a story that's changed my life, my health, my understanding of my own body. Can you imagine? I want to be clear. I really want to be clear. I'm not a medical professional at all. I'm just a woman that experienced this. This episode is not about judgment or telling anyone what they should or shouldn't do, because in my opinion, everyone has a right to their own body. Our bodies, our choices. But I do believe in the power of sharing stories, because especially when there's someone that maybe needs to be heard because they're confused and not sure where to turn. That's what that insert me. Today, I'm taking you through how I discovered something that wasn't right with me, what I experienced physically and emotionally, my search for answers, and ultimately finding the incredible surgeon who saved my life. Don't forget that. Dr. Robert Whitfield in Austin, Texas. My hope is simple: to educate, empower, and to offer support to any one of you seeking answers. So let's dive in. Let's back up to 2011 when I decided I was on the circuit for body, bikini, and fitness. And I thought it was a good idea to enhance my breasts. I felt intimidated because I felt like I was with a 34B, that I wasn't large enough. And so I visited with a doctor and had an enhancement. And when I did, everything was, just normal. I went up so large, it was crazy. And I was immediately embarrassed. I didn't like it. I wanted them out. And I sometimes wonder, was this like mental for me? Because within a short period of time, they encapsulated. Both breasts encapsulated, and I had to have them removed. But when I asked the surgeon if I could just leave them out, he shared with me that I wouldn't be happy at all, and that was not possible because I wouldn't look right. So that was 2011, had the second set of implants, they were smaller, but I still wasn't happy. I am now a 34B, very happy. I have to say, I could really care less if I have breasts, honestly, after the journey that I've been through. So 2011, I was top shape athlete. I was competing. I was very fit. I am very fit. But I started feeling poorly. And I've shared this. If you go to my Instagram page, you see a thumbnail. It's pinned there with right before I went in surgery. I shared all this information. I've shared more, but I just want to give you an update because I'm 2 years post-explant and I couldn't be happier. And I'm finally getting back to my old self. So 2011, the wheels started falling off. I just felt like, why am I sick? Why am I falling in the floor with severe back pain? Why can I not do things? Why do I feel so badly? All these years, I was told by physicians, understandably so, oh, you're just perimenopause. You're just menopausal. So you are going to feel this way. Well, that was disheartening to say the least. And so I just listened and started having some terrible GI symptoms, brain fog, some migraine headaches, joint pain. I was not myself. I don't know what happened to my old self in my 40s. I just don't know what happened. So I started exploring and trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And I had a guest on this show that I owe her everything. Stacey Danford and I talked about it. And she said, girl, you might have breast implant illness. And I'm like, well, what is that? I didn't even know. I didn't know. So I started snooping around and just listening. And I went to a surgeon and scheduled it. And she was fabulous. She said, you know what, we put in more than we take out, but we're starting to take out and explant more and more. So I schedule it. and cannot wait. Y'all, and meantime, I'm seeing a gastroenterologist because my GI systems, I was holding nothing in my body. It was awful. I was on so many medications, so many pharma, which now I'm on limited, like one or two. And I was sick. I couldn't go to dinner. I couldn't do anything. I would just have to leave abruptly because of severe GI symptoms and headaches. So then I go for my pre-op with my doctor, and she said, wait, you're taking steroids. You cannot have surgery. You have to wait and rid this of your body for X amount of weeks. I was devastated, all because I was so ready and I was so hopeful after listening to celebrities, and because that's really who I was hearing from, was speaking out about it. I was so excited to do this. I remember calling my husband and just crying. So a dear friend that was working with me at the time shared, oh my gosh, you need to listen to this podcast, Skinny Confidential in Austin, Texas. And I'm like, okay, long podcast. And she was talking about her experience, and she was talking with her surgeon. And I listened to this lengthy podcast, and I immediately said, I don't care where this guy is. I'm going to find him and I'm going to see him. And I did. That was on a Sunday afternoon. I wrote a query. They called me on Monday, and I was in very quickly for a consult. If you are familiar, because I've shared with you so much, Dr. Robert Whitfield, we're going to tag him in the show notes, but he saved my life, and I'll get to that. But I saw him, and I didn't realize, I thought, okay, well, I can have surgery next week. No. Well, first of all, he's a busy man. But second of all, he wanted me to do the SHARP program. All right. So this is Strategic Holistic Accelerated Recovery Program. And it's how to maximize your surgical recovery with functional and traditional medicine. So this is his book, and this is the protocol I went on to get my body prepared for surgery and to recover. I had heard so many people, not so many, but a few people, influencers that had this, and they're like immediately fabulous. So we plan, and I had several things going on that summer that I couldn't distract. I was just doing the things, but finally got into surgery on November 9th of 2023. And I remember going, all the myriad of emotions, and I want to share this because I want you to know do not take any thoughts for granted, okay? Don't feel like any questions are too much. Message me. I'm so passionate about this. But I was like, is this not going to work? What if I feel this way the rest of my life? What if I look like a freak? Because I remember that surgeon in 2011 telling me, you won't look right. A fat transfer wasn't an option at the time, which is what Dr. Whitfield does if you want to enhance your breast. But I was not healed. I had so much inflammation in my body, and I work out like crazy. And so I would just lose that fat. So we had the surgery, and I didn't feel good, y'all. I didn't feel good. It was like I'm not healed. So I was discouraged, of course. And boy, I thought that was discouraging. But I get a phone call from one of Dr. Whitfield's team members and told me they removed the way Dr. Whitfield, y'all, make sure you know your surgeons. What Dr. Whitfield removes the capsule, and forgive me, remember I'm not a medical professional, but it's the end block, and he removes the capsule. He doesn't just remove the implant, okay? So when he does that, he takes the entire capsule out. When he does that, he examines the capsule, examines the implant, and he felt something that looked like a tiny little horn on my capsule. And he has an oncology background, reconstructive surgery, and his sister had breast cancer. So he's very passionate about this. So he thought that was odd, sent it off to pathology. I get this phone call. There were cancer cells in my right capsule. When they say the C word, you just, I don't even know what to say. I'm just in shock. Like, this can't be a word that is representing me. And many of you listening have had that C word in your life, yourself or a family member, a loved one. And I was shocked. I'm like, what am I going to do? Well, you're going to get an oncologist. We're going to get you in radiation. Not radiation. We're going to get an oncologist. We are going to do whatever we need to do to see what's going on. So remember, he found it in the capsule. Talked to him, talked to my oncologist. It was cells. When he removed that, he got it. I remember walking out of radiology at Baylor in Dallas, and the radiologist, the doctor said, that surgeon saved your life. Now, mind you, ladies, I had a mammogram. I had surgery in November, and I think my mammogram was a month or so before. Did not detect it. Didn't see it. So if the capsule was left in there, what would have happened? Those cells would have continued to grow. Saved my life, y'all. So then the healing begins. So I had in December, had an MRI, and then I have in 6 months later, for the rest of my life, I will have a mammogram, which you all should be having mammograms. I'm hoping we're getting better with the imaging, the thermography, and there's so many things. If you follow Dr. Whitfield, you'll know more. Again, remember, I'm not a medical professional. So the healing begins. I'm cancer-free. I start trying to clean up my body with Cellcore, and his fabulous team helped me so much. My body was not ready for Cellcore. It was so tough on my body. And, I have friends, we call each other breasties, that have had Explant. And some that sail through it. It has its challenges, a lot of supplements. It's all natural, a lot of things to do. And it took me about 1.5 years to complete the system. And I say complete, I made it through phase 4. There's 4 phases. I made it through half of phase 4. And I just finally, we had to go, you know what, we need to start over. We're going to retest, we're going to labs, do all that. And then we're going to work again. But y'all, I just had my labs back and my toxic burdens down, parasites, heavy metal, mold, parasites, all the things are down because of the detoxification that I did post-Explant. Some of you have done Explant, and a lot of you, I've talked to you that you didn't do detoxification. Please read Dr. Whitfield's book. We're gonna have all this in the show notes, but it talks about healing and what it takes. I can't even express, my family can express how much better I feel. I was working out most of the time 7 days a week. People are like, well, if you feel so poorly, how are you working out? Because it helps me. It really does. I've done several podcasts on fitness, but it helps me mentally, of course, physically, obviously, but so much, keep my bones healthy. But it's just something that I do. I can go to the gym with a headache and still, it's just important. So what I want to share with you is the night before my surgery. Let's see, that was so November 8th. I just couldn't find, I was looking for anyone to talk to about this. And I found this fabulous woman that messaged me. She voice texted me from Bahrain, I believe. Susie, she helped me so much. She sent me messages. We were, it went until the wee hours of the morning, telling me it was going to be okay. Telling me about her turnaround. And it's women like that made me go, you know what? Put this on Instagram. You have a platform, Tiffany. You have people that follow you. And why I started this podcast in 2020, January of 2020, almost 6 years old, was to help people. That's why I started this podcast, and we talk about everything that I can possibly help. And that's what I did. I said, you know what? We're going to show every step of the way. So it was the night before, all the way through my journey until today, just sharing more and more and more. And I'm so proud of the women that have trusted me and the women that have begged me to help them find a surgeon in their area. They can't afford to travel to Austin. It's expensive. It's more expensive to take them out, by and large, I'm saying from my personal experience, than it is to put them in. Someone asked me if I would put them in again, and the answer is absolutely no. I have friends with implants. I have friends going to get implants. It just didn't work for me. I am not a judge. I can't judge on this matter because it just didn't work for me. But you get to do whatever you want to do. It's shown that the inflammation, my body just fought it and just pushed it out. And again, because I had those things taken out is the reason why Dr. Whitfield saved me. He absolutely saved me. Hey, I want to show you this too. This is his latest book, Breast Implants, Explant Surgery, and Breast Implant Illness. If you go to page number, where am I here? He does an entire section on the voices of BII on page 103. And he explains in his words what happened to me. And my words too, but what happened to me. But this is his other book. So he has the SHARP method, and we can connect you with this. And then the other book, I'm so proud of this, But so much information. Again, this is not to judge at all. I don't feel like that's necessary. I think that we should empower each other. People, friends of mine that have had full-blown breast cancer with the radiation and the chemotherapy and all of the things have put implants back in their body. And that's their choice, y'all. Not everybody's the same. Not everybody's the same at all. The emotional impact from everything I went through. I was doing this podcast the entire time I was sick. I was going to dinner. I'm very social. I'm on social media. I'm an influencer. The number of times that I had to dismiss myself from a meeting or a dinner or a podcast is, I can't even count that high because of my inflammation in my BII. I talked to you about how I found Dr. Whitfield, and I found him through a podcast and a friend. Podcasts are incredible. They're absolutely incredible. We learn so much, and through each other's what happens, our journeys. So the decision to explant, I just explained to you earlier, there was no decision for me. I was willing to do anything to feel better. You know, when you don't feel well, you want to feel better immediately. You just do. But it's been a journey. I've had women ask me if I'm happy with my breasts. Yes. Are you kidding me? The problem is with me, I was this size. If on YouTube, you see I have a big old sweater on, but I shouldn't have gotten them in the first place. I just shouldn't have. But, you just think, oh, the grass is always greener. That will help me win more competitions. I'll be more sexy. No, I haven't regretted it. What about my scars? I'm just going through a few questions that people have asked me online. Scars, I can't even see them. I took very good care of them. Dr. Whitfield's team explained exactly how to take care of them. I did the lollipop method where he removed the implant, and you can go on his website and everything, and it explains all these things. But scars are scars. And let me tell you, I'm actually very proud of my scars because it's helped so many women, and it's helped me exponentially. For those of you seeking answers, I would say know your body more than anything. Know your body when you feel like something's wrong. And I have had people in my life, literally their breasts are their identity. They are. I just would say know your body. What I did not tell you earlier in the journey is in 2020, the year we all remember during COVID, I started having just this crazy, it's just like crazy wildfire rash on my hair. And it was unbelievable. I remember my daughter looking at it and just gasping. So I went to my doctor, had my labs, and she goes, you know what, you have the A&A marker. And I don't know what that means, what initial was, but basically it's a marker for autoimmune disease or disorder. And I was like, what? What is that? And so I went to a rheumatologist that I now see today. he was doubting this whole thing. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. But he's like, no, I don't see anything. We're just going to watch it. And I was scratching my head behind my mask. He's like, wait a minute, you're scratching your head. So he looks, he goes, you have psoriasis. You have psoriasis. And it's bad. So sends me to a skin specialist. And again, I started talking to him, and I love him, but he was doubting the explant, but now he's a believer. And I went to see a dermatologist that specializes in psoriasis. And I started taking biologics. Again, I told you in the beginning, started taking pharmaceuticals. It made me sicker. I mean, I would get COVID every time I turned around because it suppressed my immunity. And it really didn't help the psoriasis. It did a little bit, but not like I would think it would. And then after I had my implants out, the psoriasis has calmed down. Is it completely gone? No. When I get stressed, stress is horrible. When I get very stressed, and it'll just peek its head. It really will. But, I try to control all this with food and try to stay away from as much pharmaceutical as I can to keep my body at tip top. Now, that's not saying that there's not a spot for pharmaceutical. Thank God we have it. Thank goodness for medical advancements in technology and pharmaceutical. But that was not working for me. We were just taking shots in the dark of what was wrong with me and finally figured it out. Other questions, is it expensive? Yes, it's expensive. Any medical treatment is expensive. Insurance, which makes me so mad. Insurance did not cover this for me. It just didn't cover it for me. But again, health is priceless. And y'all, I felt like crap for years and years and years and just couldn't figure out what was going on with me. There's just no reason at all, for what I was going through. What am I doing now? I'm just screaming from the mountaintops for sure. I met a woman not too long ago and she said, oh yeah, I had Explant. I was like, oh, you should share this. It's so important. But not everybody's on social media screaming from the mountaintops, and that's okay. I want to go back to, I really believe so strongly in this that, we get to do whatever we want. That's really what I believe. That's my belief. And again, no judging here at all. I had doctors, people said, what did doctors say about this? Functional doctors believed and supported me. Definitely my functional doctors are like, absolutely, let's try to figure this out. It may work. Doctors that more Western trained were, this isn't it. You may need therapy. It's menopause, perimenopause. I wouldn't advise my wife to get her implants out. It won't work. But I will tell you this, my rheumatologist has watched my numbers, watched my labs, and it's been a 360 turnaround since I got the inflammation out of my body. And sometimes I need to stop saying implants because it was truly inflammation for sure. Yes. Some people have asked me if I'm embarrassed because I've shared so much with you about this and so many other things. And the answer is absolutely not. I talked about menopause a couple of years ago and going through vaginal wellness. And someone said, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that but I had a follower say, I thought I was the only one that experienced this. No one talks about it. That's bullshit, people. We have got to start helping each other. And empowering each other, empowering women and men means sharing. So share. I wish I could drive the price down of this procedure. Part of me wants to start a foundation. If anybody has an idea on how to do this, I would love to do this. It's just amazing. What impact has this journey been on my mind and body? I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I thought I was going to feel like crap the rest of my life, but here we are. I'm going to say this, and I dedicate so much of my life to Dr. Whitfield. Please follow him. He'll be in the show notes. It's amazing. If you're not interested in what he's doing, you might want to share it with someone else. But, yeah, he's amazing. But the things you can find out with a team, an excellent team. And be careful, is what I would say to you. Be careful to the surgeons that have no idea how to explant properly. I do have a friend in my life now that did explant, not with Dr. Whitfield. They didn't remove the capsule, and she is back to feeling not fabulous. So it makes you wonder what's going on there. Just wondering, should they have taken the capsule out? This is out of my expertise, What surprised me in my recovery process was how long it took me to feel good again. I thought, again, I was going to be that person that just felt immediately fabulous, but I wasn't, and that surprised me so much. So I want you to remember that sometimes it is just a journey. Heck, I'm 2 years post. I feel good. I mean, let me tell you, I feel good. I'm 60 now, but I feel good. But, it's just amazing. What lifestyle changes have I made? Are you ready for this? Plastic bottles. I had quite a bit of styrene in my blood system. I removed plastic as much as you can. Sometimes you're at a football game and you have to drink the plastic. I no longer store food in plastic. Tupperware Queen was right here. I use glass containers. I have an entire Amazon storefront just dedicated to my breast implant illness journey. We have air filters in our home, water purifiers in our home. I do supplements that support less inflammation. I'm on a bandwagon. I use clean beauty. I use aloe vera. I've done podcasts on aloe vera, and yay, aloe vera has finally come out with clean beauty makeup. So I'm really pushing that out. I'm doing natural peptides, and that's with Make Wellness. So it's just not easy. I'm just telling you. But I say this all the time on this podcast, and I say it all the time in my life. Y'all, you have one body. We have one body that God gave us. You got to take care of it. It is our duty to take care of it. It is. And it's not cheap. It's expensive. I mean, let's be for real. Everything's expensive now. But yeah, it's our responsibility. And if you have children, are you kidding me? You have got to mentor your kids, and because they're watching you. My daughter has watched and taken care of me. She's 26 years old. She's taken care of me through this entire journey. And if I didn't have her and my husband, I'm not sure what I'd do. Do I have naysayers? Someone asked me. Yes. People are like, it's all in your head. And I'm talking about followers too. And I'm talking about close friends that refuse to believe that I had a change. Well, I'm sorry, but ask my daughter about that. Again, I want you to remember to support and love each other. We don't hate on each other. We just don't. Just because something doesn't work for you doesn't mean it didn't work for me. So I've ranted and raved on about breast implant illness, but I had to give you an update from 2 years. I'm so proud, and I will talk to you all day long, as you can obviously see. So y'all, any questions at all? Let me know. Show notes, you'll see Dr. Whitfield, his books, all the things. Amazon, I've got on storefront. I got to make money doing this. So just remember what I say to you every Tuesday when this show comes out. Keep being fabulous.